Hey y'all, I'm Spiral and welcome on back to my channel. So last time we spent way too long in the Nether. I know it was a short episode, but there was a lot that went into it. This week, however, we are thankfully back in the overworld and we've got loads that we're doing today. We're going to knock out a pretty significant portion of our hobbit village today, which means a lot of building and a lot of material gathering. So let's go ahead and jump into it because we've got a lot to do. Let's go over here real quick to the top of the tree so I can kind of show you what we're going to be doing today. All right, so parsnips a bit in the way here, but oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, there's a hole that goes all the way through the tree. I almost died. So this whole area, even up to about there. So we're going to be terraforming and building here, and then we're also going to be terraforming and building this whole section too. So we got a lot to do. So let's go ahead and gather just a lot of materials. We're just going to gather several shulkers worth of kind of everything we need. Let's go find everything we need. Okay, guys. So I did some quick math and I have tried to figure out everything that we need for the upcoming build, and it's a list. It's a lot, guys. So let's get started. Let's see if we have anything in the storage room first. Okay. Dark oak? Ooh. Okay, so we need to get wood. So we don't have any wood. I forgot I needed to make like a million chests for last time's episode. So let's go spend like 2 hours chopping down trees, I guess. And I did. I spent about an hour and a half cutting down trees. I didn't record all of it because that would be insane, but I did spend quite a long time with my axe in hand. Then after that, I set to work just making things in my storage room. I made all kinds of stuff from all of the materials. I'm only showing the wood stuff right here, but I assure you, it was so much more than just the wood stuff. I spent, so long making stuff, guys. So long. There's so much stuff in this build. Alrighty, guys. I have spent the past, let's say close to 8 hours gathering supplies for this. A good chunk of it was in my storage room, but the things that weren't here I had to go out and get, which, as you saw, I had to go get some wood. I also had to dive into the Nether and get some stuff in there, and just, kind of little bitty bits and bobs. Now that we've got all of the garbage that we need for these builds, let's go ahead and finally start working on this big, kind of massive update to the Hobbit village. So we're starting off this time lapse with something I'd meant to build back when I finished the ravine. It's just a bush that sort of hangs down over the ledge and adds a pop of greenery to the stone face of the cliff. Next, we're jumping over to build this house that sits between the sugarcane farm and the super smelter. I did a bit of terraforming to clean up the cliff around it, but this one was a pretty quick and easy build compared to what we're about to build. Now, this area took quite a bit of work. The staircase I've had planned out for months, but the wall that wraps around the cliff was a more recent idea, and I'm really happy with how it came out. As you can see, there was some path planning and terraforming before we built the house facades, and then we added in some plant life, including this tree that sits above a little bench and hangs over the sheep enclosure. Well, now that we've got some of this building done, why don't we take a little break? I've actually been meaning to do something, and I think right now is a really good time to get started on it. So let's head to the Wither Skelly farm real quick just to pick up some bones. Alright, so now that we've got some bones, I mean, you guys probably have a pretty solid idea of what we're about to do with, a bunch of bones, right? So in all of the time that I've played this game, I've only tamed one dog, and I really don't even know where I got her from, but she's been over here taking care of our sheep since we got her, and I think it's about time that we go and get some more doggies, because they're just so stinking cute. So I've got a list of all of the different wolf types and the locations that they are found in. So I'm gonna go grab some more rockets, and we are gonna head out, guys, to try to find some wolvies. And with that, I set forth to find some pupperinos. Except I spent about 30 minutes flying from biome to biome looking for some dogs when I came across this. Ooh, camel! The brown cat is my favorite. Once I tamed the kitties, I tossed some leads on the camels and started off towards home. Thankfully, it wasn't long before we came across our first doggos. Turns out, finding the wolf was the least of my problems with this journey. Camels, I learned, suck to transport. We slogged a few thousand blocks back home with these camels, and by the end of it, I was losing my freaking mind. God, I'm never moving camels again. I'm over you little blonde bitch. In the end, the camels found a lovely new home at spawn. Don't mind that camel head. There was an incident on the way home. Where are you? You're dead. There's a reason I left them at spawn though. I have a whole plan for this area that I hope to start soon. Once I got the camels to spawn, I went back home to restock up on some food and decompress a bit. Hello, Parsnip. Hello, Black Cat. Hello, Calico Kitty. Thank you all for not being stupid camels. Ugh! Once the new pup was sitting with his matching kitty pal, it was back into the sky to find the next one. And by next one, I mean I went from grove to grove for about 45 minutes looking for the snowy wolf. On my way home, I found a couple more forest dogs and had the forethought to breed the snowy wolf with one of the forest wolves, and luckily enough, we got a snowy pup. We brought the new dogs home, and then just like the others, we were off again. It didn't take too long to find a savanna, thankfully, so I proceeded to wander around there for a while in search of the painted doggos, whilst giving myself a quick science lesson. What's the difference between geology and geography? Geology is the study of Earth's history, its composition, and Earth's processes, including its future. Geography is the study of the physical properties on the surface of the Earth and the interactions between the environment and people. Okay, so geology has to do with the makeup of the planet and how different areas of the planet are formed, like mountains and plateaus and stuff. And geography is how people interact with the environment. That's what I thought. Thankfully, it didn't take too long to find the painted pups and drag them back home. I think technically Minecraft calls the painted dogs spotted dogs, but they're so clearly based on the African wild dog, which is also called a painted dog, so that's just what I call them. By this point, you know the drill. Drop off dogs, head back out. This time, I was looking for the dogs that spawn in the big spruce forests, and I happened to learn something new about Minecraft World Generation. Okay, this is the other spruce. Listen, guys. I didn't know there were two different types of like giant spruce biomes until I started looking for these dogs. And frankly, I think it's dumb that there are two, because the only difference is the way the trees look. But once I figured that out, finding the dogs was pretty easy. The bright side here is that these dogs were around 1,000 blocks from base instead of like 5,000. By far the least stressful walk home of all of these dogs. Not too long after that, I found the ashen wolf, again pretty close to base. And then the last one. The striped wolf. I had yet to see a wooded badlands in this world, and according to Chunkbase, I had like a gazillion blocks until I found one. So I went the approximately 6,000 blocks to the nearest wooded badlands, and my god, it was huge! But it didn't have a single stupid wolf. I walked that badlands for about 3 or 4 in-game days and didn't see hide nor hair of any dumb dogs. I was at my wit's end, about to head home, when I decided to just hop the river that sliced the badlands off from a jungle. And you know what I found there? You'll never guess. The ding-dang flippin' wolves! Anyway, I tamed the little fellas, then headed the 6,000 blocks back home. And I never want to tame another wolf as long as I live. Alright, now that we are back from collecting puppies, let's jump back into building. I'm excited for this. I'm so tired of flying around and dog hunting. So let's get this going. You may be wondering what I've built this cute little house for. It's for the bunnies, guys. So we've built just like a cute little rabbit keeper's hutch here with a little outdoor area for the bunnies, and it's, you know, moderately covered to keep, you know, predators and stuff kind of away. That's the excuse anyway. It's not going to keep foxes out if they really want in. But I'm going to move a good chunk of my bunnies that are in there. Going to move a good chunk of them over here. I'll probably even move a dog or two over here to kind of act as like guard dogs. But let's go ahead and move some bunnies. I've got 6 leads on me and a daffodil. So hopefully these bunnies won't die. Ooh, here's hoping. Oh goodness, suddenly I'm very popular with the bunnies. The fact that these bunnies have made it this far is genuinely shocking to me. Can they can't jump over it. No, I know they can't jump over that. All right. So we've got 8 loose bunnies and our cute little bunny hutch. And look, if I come over here, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're probably all here. It's fine. But this is where I plan on doing a lot of like my bunny breeding and, you know, dragging them around to various places. I will keep my bunny hutch that's in there intact for now, just in case anything happens to the bunnies up here. I don't want to have to go, you know, hunting for more bunnies again. All right. So we've got this area all done and dusted. So now it's time to move over to this side where it's a bit messy right now, if we're going to be honest, but that's okay. That just means we got lots to fix up and make look pretty. So let's go ahead and get back to our now very chaotic shulker boxes and get this started. So for this section of the build, I was making some more houses as opposed to the more terraform heavy side that I had just completed. The first house is one of my favorites on this side. I really like how it has this overhang that sort of interacts with the walking path. It feels very homey to me. I love how the center house came out too. It has this kind of suburban feel to it somehow, like the house at the end of the road that the clearly rich kid lives in. The wall was a blast to build. It was such a great help in figuring out what to do with this section because I was really at a loss for how to do this whole kind of corner of the Hobbit village until I built it. And then there's this delightfully out of place little Hobbit hole. Alrighty guys, here it is. We have completed this side of our project and it looks so good. I am kind of in love with this little overhang. I know it's like super simple, but it's, I love it. Then we come around the corner and we have a lot of our light fixtures we have hanging in different ways as opposed to just, you know, being a structure from the ground. We have them hanging from the side of the hill and stuff. There's another one over there that's doing the same thing. We've got our little, you know, mushrooms growing where they ought not be growing. And then of course we have our homes for our resident hobbits. And then over here, down this kind of ominous looking path, is this very out of place hobbit hole, which I actually have plans for this one. So hopefully next episode or sometime soon, I'll get this sorted out so we can see the very cool interior of this house. But here it is, guys, in all of its glory. And I'm so happy with the way this has come out. All in all, guys, this has been a fantastic episode for building and puppy dog collecting. And I have put the dogs a few different places. Some of them. We have one here hanging out with the my bunnies are gone. Okay, well, there will be bunnies in here, and I might have to move the dog because it seems the bunnies ran away from the dog. Anyway, we have a couple pupperinos over here guarding the... Oh, he's sleeping. He's guarding the chickens. We have this one over here. We, of course, have our first wolf, who's over here sitting by the water with the sheeps. And then we have one last wolf that is sitting pretty right over here. Kind of blends in with this house in particular, but we have a little rusty wolf sitting over here. And then I still have a million dogs sitting around over here. So, as we build, we'll move them around. I actually think I might have some pretty... Oh! I'm so sorry. Anyway, I have some ideas for some of the wolves that I think will be pretty fun, but it involves building way up on top of the mountain, which we'll get to hopefully sooner rather than later. Oh, of course, I forgot these two. They're singing a duet. And that's where we're going to leave today's episode, guys. If you liked it, I'd really appreciate it if you could drop a like, a comment, or even a subscribe. And I hope you had a good time. I know I sure did, and I will talk to you next time. Bye!